Okay, now on to the next thing. There's different types of questions that you guys could answer, and so far we've answered one type of question, and that's this question right here. We've answered this type of question. In this type of question, you tell the calculator the angle, and it gives you the ratio, or the variable. I should say the side. Yeah, side. Side is better. Sorry, not ratio. Okay, and you use these buttons. Use the sine button, use the cosine button, and you use the tangent button. Oops. The other type of question, the angle is missing. Oh, we haven't done one of these yet. And these ones, you tell the calculator the sides, or you can say ratio here. You ratio, because that's like this one would be 5 over 14, the opposite over hypotenuse. So you tell the sides, and it will tell you the angle. Now this one you use different buttons for. You don't use the same buttons as these ones. Okay, you use sine inverse, the inverse of sine, and you use cosine inverse, and you use tangent inverse. Now, most of you guys will have calculators that say those things. If you have an older calculator, it will say this thing. It will say arc sine and arc cosine. That's the same. These are the same exact things. You can write down arc sine, or you can write a cosine to the -1, which means cosine inverse, the inverse of cosine, and arc tangent. Does anybody in here have the arc buttons? Now, since most of you guys have iPhones, make sure that you press the second button to get these. Sine H, cosine H, and tangent H are not the same thing as the inverse. Okay, let's check out our first problem here. How can we find the measure of angle A and B in the picture below? Okay, so I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to hit pause right here and give you guys a chance to write the functions before I do. Okay. Now keep in mind, you do not know the angle, so you have to say A or B, and then you have to write the ratio for it. Okay, so let's see. Let's do A first. So if we're looking for A, right here, and we're given the 5 and the 4, which trig function would you want to use? Yeah, this is opposite right here, and this is the hypotenuse for the A. So since we're using opposite and hypotenuse, then we're going to want to use sine. So we're going to put sine right here. Sine of A is going to equal 4, which is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 5. Now for the other one, for B, this 4 is different. What is the 4 to the B? Yeah, it's not opposite, it's adjacent. So it's an edge. And is this 5 still hypotenuse? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to write cosine, because we have to have adjacent, of B equals 4 over hypotenuse, which is 5. Okay? Alright, so what it says right here, okay, first it says which trig ratio involves A, 4, and 5. We kind of did that right here, the sine. Tell the calculator the ratio using the blank button. Okay, so to tell the calculator the ratio, use, there's a button that looks like this. It says A, B, C. Okay, that's one button you can use. Or, because that button will give you a fraction. Like, it'll look like this. It'll say 4, then have this weird thing like there, and 5. That means 4 over 5. Okay, that's the same as this right here. Or, you can use a division button. You can divide. 4 divided by 5 is the same. So the other button that you can use is divide. And some of you guys don't have a divide button. You guys have, well, you have a divide button, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like this, with a slash like that. That's division. Okay, so in order to solve this, what you're going to do is you're going to say 4 over 5, plug that into your calculator, and then you're going to press the inverse of sine. So, this is how you write it. To get the A alone. Remember how when you want to get the variable alone, you do the inverse operation? What you're doing here is you're going to go sine inverse of this whole thing. Check it out. Peace out, signs. Now A is all alone. Aw. Everybody say aw. Okay. And then you have to do the inverse sign of this side. So this is sine to negative 1, 4 over 5. Alright, so plug it in. Go inverse sine of 4 divided by 5. Alright, I got A is approximately equal to 53.1 degrees. Which leads me to this. We normally round to the nearest tenth or whole degree. So I chose to round to the nearest tenth. Okay. Okay, let's do this one right here. So to get the b out of the cosine, you got to do the inverse. This time I'm going to write it differently. I'm not going to say with the negative 1 like I did right here. I'm going to put arc cosine just to be different. So arc, oh dang, I don't know how to write apparently. Arc cosine of this will cancel out the cosine, yay, and then the b is alone, double yay. On the other side I have arc cosine of 4 over 5. Now you guys know your calculator. You're either going to put that in first or you're going to put this in first to your calculator. After you guys put those in, let's see, what would you get? See, 4 divided by 5. See, 4 divided by 5 equals second cosine inverse. You get 36.9 degrees. That is B. And oops, I put an equal sign. It should say approximately. Take notice of what I did right here. I did the inverse cosine again. That's one way to do it. I used a trig ratio. This question right here says, how can you find the measure of angle B? Now there's two different ways to do it. We did it with the trig ratio, or you guys can use, you guys remember what all the angles measure up to inside of a triangle? Yeah, they add up to 180. And so if you look up here at your triangle, you could have said, oh, well, this is 90 right here. And this A right here, that is 53.1. Now, what would this one be? What would you have to do? Yeah, you have to subtract. Subtract from what? Yeah, 180. So we would go 180, subtract that, and then say equals, and subtract that, say equals, and then you'll get a 36 point something probably. Okay? So there's two ways to do it. You don't have to keep doing trig ratios. I just thought, we just learned this, so why not do it again? Alright, let's see. Let's take a look at these ones. Determine the measure of Q and P. Hey, this is like what we just did. Should we do it? Yeah, we need to do it. Okay, I'll set it up. Here we go. Let's find the Q first. Let's see, sine of Q. No, wait, is it sine? Wait, for Q, what? Oh, that's a theta. Q. What am I going to do for Q? See, what is 7 and 4 to Q? Is 4 opposite or adjacent? That's opposite. So opposite over hypotenuse. And so what trig function is that? Yeah, so we're going to do sine of Q equals 4 over 7. And then to do this, we have to take the inverse sine of both sides. So I'm just going to go sine to negative 1. And that cancels those out. And I have to do the inverse sine of that. And so I have Q is approximately equal to, what is 4 divided by 7 inverse sine? Or inverse sine of 4 divided by 7. Alright, I got 34.8. Alright, so that's my Q. That's my Q, get it? Alright, so that's the Q. So let's do it, find the other angle another way. Instead of doing another trig ratio, let's add these up. See, we got 34.8 plus 90. So we go 90 plus 34.8, so that's going to give me 8.4 and 120. Okay, so 124.8 degrees. And so what's the other side going to be? How am I going to find it? That's right! You take 180 and subtract 124.8 to get your answer. Let's see, 180 subtract 124.8, bam. You get 55.2 degrees. Alright, that is approximately P. Now I have to say approximately because I used an approximate number to find it. Alright, let's do the next one. Alright, to find r here, we have to use these two sides. And what are these two sides in comparison to the r? You guys are giving up on me. I know, you're getting tired. That's opposite. That's adjacent. Okay, so we have tangent of r equals opposite, which is 6, over adjacent, which is 9. We do the inverse tangent of both sides. So tangent -1, tangent -1. We get r equals tangent -1 of 6 over 9. Ooh, 6 over 9 is the same as 2/3, but that doesn't matter. Just plug into your calculator. What do you get? Oh, I'm not going to say equals. I'm going to say approximate. And this is angle R. Alright, I got 33.7 degrees. Yay.